Yeah, good evening, Dr. Bodhi. How are you today?
I'm all right. I'm all right, but not the best. So
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
I'm surviving. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully with the preaching you can be better and better. And especially the stones can be smashed and gone.
Yeah. Good evening.
All right, and so before you preaching the new future, I like to do the Dharma request to to show our respect, please.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Now that
and we respectfully request our esteemed Dr. Bodhi, the preacher of the Buddha teachings, to expound upon the profound and wonderful meaning of the Buddha teachings. And tonight's Buddha teaching is Mangala Sutra, right? I'm not sure.
Mahamangala Sutra. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, thank you so much. And I will share the screen for you.
Okay. Thank you so much for the wishes. All right. I think you have got the one that I have sent. That is good. Very good. Yeah. Mahamangala Sutra. Now, the very first part is fairly long. What it says is the history behind that, who came there, what's the question asked by that monk or a person who is practicing the Buddha's teaching. So there are so many translations in books saying that a deity or deva came to ask this question, but we believe that it is a monk or a practicing person who came to Buddha and asked this question. Now, it says, it start with, if I go through the Magadi part, Evang me sutang. It says, Evang me, you can just listen to that. You don't have to memorize that, but I'll just explain a little bit of those things, but the important things are underneath. Evang me sutang ekang samayang bhagava. Savatyang viharati jetavane anatapindikasarama. That means the Buddha was living or dwelling in a temple, you can call a temple, or a place made by Anatha Pindika. Anatha Pindika.
Another Pindico is a play. What was that?
Anatha Pindika means is the king or the person who
Ah,
donated that particular uh, a temple to Buddha.
yes.
He's fairly a rich person who made that one and
The
asked
king,
Buddha to live there. Yeah, in another Pindika Aram.
another Pindica.
Arama means the last one. Arama means the temple. Arama. So if you look at
Arama.
the Arama, Anatha Pindika means the name of the person,
Yes. The
and it's
king.
the it's not. I don't know whether it's a king or a not a king. It's a fairly a wealthy person.
Ah,
He's, he's,
with the person. Okay.
he's like a
Yes.
he's like a banker. At that
Oh,
time,
banker.
he's
I
a rich
see.
banker,
Treasurer.
a
Oh,
treasurer banker, I would say. So he got, uh, he got this Dhamma to Buddha and he listened to Buddha's teachings and he was impressed. And later he thought of donating this particular. temple to Buddha to live.
Mm-hmm.
It is situated in Jetavane. That is the place, Jetavane is the place.
Oh,
Vihara, Vihara means the temple. Uh, Savatya means Savati in India.
Sawadee in India. Okay.
Savati, Savati Viharati. Viharati means the Buddha was living there in that place. Savati Viharati Jetavane Anathapindika Arame during that time. Yeah. The Bhagava means Buddha. Bhagava. The term Bhagava.
Bhagava.
Bhagava
Bhagava.
means Bhagava
What
means
fun.
most fortunate person in the world. Fortunate is the term.
Ah, fortunate person in the world.
Yeah.
Bhagava.
Bhagava. Samayam Bhagava. So it's Evam Mesutang Ekang Samayam. So I heard this. That is what the person who said. I think that time after 250 years of passing away of Buddha, when these things came into the books or the text, the person who can remember was Ananda. Then the Ananda Thera said, I can remember Buddha was living in this place that time. That is what it says, Evam me sutang ekang samaya. That period, Buddha was living in this place. So that's the statement given by Bhikkhu Ananda or Monk Ananda, who was the associate of Buddha. Okay, so that came from, so he was not living 250 years, but his wording was came from word to word by the other monks. So they said, so and so said this in this manner. So that's the first thing where Buddha was living, and that was made by Ananda in that manner. So that person who has said, recorded these things, recorded into the text, has mentioned those things.
So Ananda, right? Ananda, you just
Ananda is the closest associate of Ananda, Buddha, who was helping in many ways to Buddha,
yes.
Ananda.
Yes, yes.
We heard about that. Okay. Now the next
Associate with the Buddha. Okay.
the associate, closest associate.
Close associate. Okay.
And that's
A close associate. Okay.
the closest associate. And uh, the Venerable Ananda had the ability to remember most of the things uh, preached by the Buddha. And when he became the associate, he said to Buddha, please take me to every place when you're giving a special sermon or a discussion. I would like to attend and remember what you are talking about. So with that promise, he became the associate and he was taken to every place where Buddha was preaching, and he remembers a lot. So thankful to Venerable Ananda, we have got these things in the books nowadays.
You call him Venerable Ananda? What was that?
Venerable, yeah, we say venerable,
Venerable. Okay, venerable.
venerable or monk. We don't say monk; it's venerable. Venerable is a better way to respect uh, uh, a person who has, very
Respectful.
respectful way of expressing the person's title, venerable, better title. So Venerable Ananda is the closest associate of Buddha, and he knows a lot of things what Buddha said and done. So most of the things, that's the only monk who knows. Okay, now the next part says, Atako Anyatara Devata.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh, my wife says Anandathera was the treasure of Buddha teachings. That means all the teachings of the Buddha are stored in Venerable Ananda's mind. There's
Yes.
no, or it's like a computer,
Yeah, like a computer.
but
Yes.
it
Or
is it's a special.
perfect memory.
Yes, it's memory. Yeah, it's in the memory. So he told this in the first Sangha Council. Yeah, he told that in first Sangha Council when he was held after Buddha's passing away.
Yes.
3 months. 3 months after passing away, there was a
Mhm.
council. In that council, Venerable Ananda said to everybody that he can remember the things.
Yes.
Evam me
Exactly.
sutang, that part is evam me sutang ekang samayang bhagava.
Yeah.
Evam me sutam means I heard from Bhagava. If you look at the
Uh,
first few words, evam
that's a
me
heard. Yeah.
sutang ekang samayang bhagava. That means
Mm.
I heard from the Bhagava, Buddha. These two.
Yes.
So Savatya Viharate during the time Buddha was living in Savatya Viharati Jetavane Anathapindika Arame. That means in that temple, when he was living in that temple, I heard the following, this sutra.
Um,
So that sutra is underneath. So, okay, we can go to the next part. Atako anyatara devata abhikantaya ratya. That means,
what is it? I got lost.
yeah, it's a
Sorry.
long statement, but we'll go slowly. But I don't know, I can translate each and every term. Anyway, I'll try my best. Atako anyatara devata. At a particular time,
Uh,
person, devata means deity. People say deity, but in books says deity. Devata means who can control the his or her system. So we can become a devata if we can control our system. The Buddha's, according to Buddha's teaching, that term devata, you can see the last one that we have highlighted. Atako anyatara devata. So that means
the
that
cool.
particular atako
The cool.
anyatara
Anya
anya,
Tara.
anyatara
Anya
devata
Tara.
abhikanta ratya. So this particular person who has controlled his system to a considerable amount or considerable, uh, time, and has got this experience, came to Buddha and asked this question. Abhikanta Ratya came in the night because the normally Buddha goes for sleep for 2 hours only. Buddha sleeps for 2 hours because the system is so calm that system doesn't need that much of sleeping.
So good.
Yeah, so 2 hours is more than enough. Uh, so that is why that person came in the night, middle of the night, and asked this question from Buddha. Abhikanta Ratya, Abhikanta Ratya,
Mhm.
Abhikanta Vannang, Kevala Kappang Jetavane Obasitva. That shows he came with a determination. It says he came with a some sort of lightning. That means he came with a what's the term, with lot of power, with lot of enthusiasm, you can say. uh,
Oh, enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm because he's having a question.
Passion?
Question. He's raising a
Passion.
question, not action is a question. So he
Oh,
believed that this question will be answered by the Buddha. So he was
oh,
adamant, he was sure that Buddha can answer this question very well. So he came to see the Buddha because he knows that no one can answer this question other than Buddha. Yetavanang obasitva ye Bhagava, where the Bhagava is living, Bhagava is the Buddha. Tenupasang Kamyupasang Bhagavantang Abhivadetva Ekamantang Attasi. So what that means is he came and with respectfully sat down near the Buddha and raised this question.
oh. So
So he
respectful.
came to the Buddha and respected and sat down near Buddha and raised this question to the Buddha. So therefore, the question I have translated underneath, we'll go to that and come back. Thus, I have heard, that's the translation of the Magadhi part. One occasion, the omniscient Buddha was dwelling in Savatthi Jetavana at Anathapindika monastery. That's exactly what we discussed in the first line on top. Okay, you're with
Yeah.
me? You can understand, I think. Now, when the night was far advanced in the midnight, a monk or devata, we can say a monk or sort of a person who has been practicing to control his own
Yeah,
system
button.
from impurities. So he has been practicing. What is he's practicing? He's practicing the Buddha's teaching like that we learn. So just stop here and recall what we have learned. He's practicing the 10 wholesome actions and the perfections quite well.
Oh,
So it's a dana, sila, bhavana, patti dana, patta, modana,
mm,
veyyavacca, apachayana, desana, sravana, dittiju, and also danang, silancha, nekkammam, panya, panchamam, kanti, satcha, dittana, mettu, upekka. So those 10 perfections and the 10 wholesome actions, this monk was practicing very well. Why I said that? It can be found by looking at the question and the Buddha's answers. So when we look at the answers of the Buddha, it shows that all the things that we have learned, the 10 defilements, not only the two things, he knows the 10 defilements which is troubling the system, and the five hindrances, and the five elements of the thought. So it's combined together and the fetters or the dasa sangyojana. So that monk has mastered all these things, which shows from the question that particular monk raised to the Buddha. So monastery absorbed the blessed one, respectfully stood to one side, and standing, he put forward the following question to the omniscient Buddha. That is the translation of the top part
mm.
that I read, in Magadhi language. If you go back to that, it's Evam me sutang ekang samayam bhagava savatyang viharati jetavane anatapindika arame. अतको अन्यतरा देवता अभिक्रांताय रत्या अभिक्रांत वन्ना केवल कप्पं जेतवनं ओबासेत्वा. That means the entire Jetavana part was, uh, is with light. Light means with a lot of enthusiasm. So it's not the outside, the inside of that monk.
Okay.
Buddha can see. But there's another thing. If a person is practicing Buddha's teachings, and if we can get those uh, impurities eliminated and bring about the serenity and equanimity, there is a saying that
Mm.
from our body, the rays are going out, which makes some sort of a light, which we can't see now, but if you become that
Oh,
level, you can see your
amazing.
body works
Mm.
in that manner. It's in own because it has no nothing to send to the outside world and the light, some sort of a light or
Oh,
light of calmness, which can be seen from the arahants only. When a
yeah, yeah,
person
yeah.
Buddha can see, but others can't
Yeah.
see because others are full of impurity,
Yes.
so they
Yes,
can't.
amazing.
To recognize
Yes.
that is not easy.
Yes, we see some films and about that kind of lightning, and but not from
Lightning change,
our
yeah.
own eyes yet, because in that film and it says somebody practicing the Buddhist teachings and achieve some
Yeah, they are.
level,
Yeah, their way
has
of
light.
talking. Yeah, that's right. Their way of talking is different. Their behavior pattern is different. Their walking is
Ah,
different. The way they walk, the way they do all the things are different. So all these things can be expressed. Their pose, from their pose, we can see a lot of things are happening there in that physical body due to the mental or the emotional strength. Okay, so
yeah.
this that translation is about the things given in the I didn't go to word and word by word in the translation. I would have done that, putting things, each and evam me sutang is this, I have heard evam me sutang. On one occasion, omniscient Buddha is the Tamayam Bhagava. Bhagava is omniscient Buddha was dwelling at Arama in Jetavana. Monastery is the Aram monastery.
Mm.
Aram. So
Monastery.
yeah.
Okay.
So we can come to that later, the word to word. So let us go to this question given in the next
Okay.
time. What is the
So what's the
question?
question?
Now we have to know, we have to study the question. Yeah, that's the part.
This one?
Yeah, that's the question. That's the question asked by the Buddha. It's very valid question which we have studied also to a certain extent now. We studied the Dana, Sila, Bhavana, Pattidana, Pattanumodana.
Yes.
Yeah, this
These
question,
days we learned it. Yeah.
yeah, this particular thing is about the 10 wholesome actions where you get Dana, Sila, Bhavana. Pattidana is whatever the comfortable experience that you get through Dana, Sila, Bhavana must be
Mm.
left behind. That's what we
Yeah, leave
study.
behind. Yeah.
Bhakti dana is don't attach to that, experience, that relief that you get. So that was the problem this particular monk had. So when I read the translation, you can figure out that. Now, Bahudeva Manussacha. Bahudeva Manusyacha, Bahudeva. It's called Bahudeva. I can't write in, that sound. Not easy to get that sound from writing in English. It's
Mm.
Bahu. Bahu. Ba,
Bahu.
Bahu. Bahu. You have to, uh,
Yeah.
the sounds goes up and down, You have to increase and decrease. Bahu
Oh,
Deva. Bahu Deva Manussacha.
Deva.
Mangalani Achintayum.
Oh,
I'll repeat that several times. Akantmana Swattanam Bruhi Mangala Muttama. That is the question. Now see what
mm.
that means. Bahu Deva Manussacha Mangalani Achintayum Akankamana Swattanam Bruhi Mangala Muttama. Bahudeva Manussacha. Bahudeva Manussacha. Bahudeva Manussacha. Bahu means a special. Bahu means
Special.
special, very special. Deva means a control person. The system is control person. It's called the Deva. Deva
Yeah.
means control. It's not the person. Control. Manussacha means well controlled person is Manussacha. Manussacha. So Manussaja means the person, Deva means the well control from the impurities, Bahu means the great and the honored person. Honored person who has controlled the system. Bahu Deva Manussaja. That is what that means. Okay, let us go to this translation and come back to these words. Don't worry about the term, the ones in bold ones. Just ignore them and just read through the English part very very slowly.
Again.
Question is this: the question start in this manner. How do I become a neutrally blissful, eternal, and very well relieved from all impurities, as well as unbiasedly joyful, supreme, sublime human being by eliminating what? To eliminate. Now, if you look at that part again, how do I, asking Buddha, how do I become a neutrally blissful? Neutrally means I'm not attaching to my blissful wisdom even. Eternally, very well relieved from all impurities. Eternally. That means for my entire life period, relieved from all impurities as well as unbiasedly joyful. So that's the term Buddha used, that, Mangala. Unbiasedly joyful. That means I'm not attaching to the things that I gain through this particular practice, because I get a very big relief, joyfulness, but I'm not going to attach to that. So I want to become a person like that, but I couldn't do that although I was practicing. It says in the next part, sublime human being. That means a great human being. Sublime is uh, unparalleled or great human being, by eliminating what is the difficulty that person had to eliminate. These are the things. Just imagine the Pattidana Pattanumodana. That's the part this particular monk was, distracted by, as you can see. Those destructive levels of overwhelming proudness and the overconfidence that incurred, especially due to being a well controlled person of my own process of this very system. So the question is, I was practicing this, and when I get this, relief, I attached to that. I was proud of that, and I was overconfident that I can, get through that, but I can't move forward. Can you understand the question clearly? I'll repeat that. So this is something like this. I'll give an example. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give example. So a person comes and tells you, I was studying hard, I was doing everything on this particular subject, but I couldn't pass that subject. I couldn't get a pass mark, something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Plasma.
I
Plasma, what
was,
does it mean?
pass mark means I can't pass the exam. I can't,
Pass mark.
pass
Okay.
mark,
The
the
benchmark. Okay.
40%
Passmark.
or 50% of that mark. Or they give the, they define the pass level, the credit level, distinction level, and all that. They give you. particular marks for that. So say
Mm.
50% is the pass mark. If you are less than 50, you are fail. If you are above 65, you get a credit. If you are above 75, you get a distinction or whatever. So something like that. So it's like a complaint, sort of a complaint. It's, it's, it's a question asking the Buddha, what is the reason why I can't move towards the equanimity and further go forward? Why can't I go forward to get my uh, ambition or the fulfill my requirement? Something like that. So
Mm.
it's something like this. How do I become a neutrally blissful, eternally very well relieved from all impurities? Because this monk was training according Buddha's teaching. He was training, you know so many times he was doing this part, but at a certain point got stuck. Where is the point? The Pattidana, I couldn't get rid of Pattidana. The happiness that I got, I couldn't do away with that. I couldn't eliminate the happiness that I got. That was the question asked by this particular special person who has practiced for so many years. Okay, that clear?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, we can go to that again. How do?
How do?
Yeah, bruhi. It's in the. It's not. These terms are not. If I look at the bold ones, they are not. You can't put them in the same order as the question was asked because in English you can't write that way because as you can imagine, these things are
Mm-hmm.
here and there. So blissful is mangala. Eternally means mangal. Achinta yung. Achinta yung means internal.
Mm-hmm. Internally. I think
Not internally, eternally, sorry, eternally. Eternally. That means forever, forever, until
forever.
eternal. Eternal means eternally, not internally, eternally. I
Yeah, yeah.
uh, Mangalani Achinta Yung. Achinta Yung is eternally
I
and
think that.
eternally. Joyful, unbiased, joyful is Mangalani. Mangalani is unbiased, joyful. So that means the joyfulness that I experience, I'm not going to attach onto that. So I enjoy the joyfulness without attaching. It's like I'm eating the food without attaching. I'm not asking that food again and again. So I'm not attached to that. So something like that. So it's a unbiased joyfulness, mangalani. It's difficult to find these terms. I did my best to get these things. Supreme, sublime human being. So that supreme is Bahudeva Manusacha Mangalani Achintayung Akankamana Sottana Bhuvi Mangala Muttamang. Muttamang means great, supreme, Muttamang. Muttamang is high level, Muttamang.
High level, highest.
Great, yeah,
Okay. Sublime.
yeah, sublime. Human being. Human being is not a normal human being. Manusacha means not a normal human being. We are not Manusa. We are not Manusacha. We are
Uh,
less than that. People say we are Manusa. We are not Manusa. We are bit of Amanusa, not the same as Manusa, right? You know, bit different to Manusa because we have got all those impurities still. We get angry. We get agitated. Things like that happens. Although we are trying our
mhm.
best to stop that, but reality is it comes, that bad habits are always coming behind us and then propping up without our knowledge, because the system is not ours. So the practice is what we practice is what we get. So the for so many years, past lives, this life, whatever we practice is coming all of a sudden without our knowledge. It's like a hiccup. Hiccup comes without telling us. Okay, so it's something like that.
Mm.
So a cough comes without telling us.
What kind of cough?
Any type of cough can come without, it won't, no notice,
Yes.
no warning, it comes out. So we say,
Yeah.
so it's,
Burst into, yes.
yeah, uncomfortable. So sometimes, so it's supreme sublime becoming that by eliminating what? Akankamana sottanang. Sotta means eliminating. Sottanang. Sottanang.
Sotana.
Yeah,
Sotana.
eliminating. Yeah, Sottanang is eliminating.
Emil
Those
eliminating.
akanka,
Ah.
yeah. Obstructions, obstructive, akanka. Mana means the level of obstruction that comes with the speed. Mana means the speed because the obstructions
Lim.
come through the speed.
Mana.
Yeah,
Ah.
mana. Mana is the level of that speed. Level of the speed brings the mana.
Okay.
Okay, now you have to remember this. This is the easiest way to remember. I'll very, in a, I used this term earlier also, in a nutshell, very simplified way of putting this thing. Now,
Yeah.
our system has got four things. We are doing actions. We are doing actions all the time, whether we like it or not. We are in the process of producing actions. This is a source of actions, our life. Okay? So this has
Yeah.
to be remembered. Actions. Then comes the feelings. Actions,
Hmm.
feelings.
Actions, feelings.
Actions, feelings. Where the action is coming from? Sankara gives, yeah, Rupa Vedana Sanya. Sankara.
Rupa Vedana Sankara.
Yeah, Sanya Sankara. So we get actions. We look at things, outside things, bring it in as Upadana Rupa. These are all actions. So Upadana Rupa, then, work with them, attach to them. So those actions are going on. So actions are there, feelings. So we get actions, feelings. So that is the Vinyan. So Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vinyan. So actions, feelings, right?
Mm?
Then when we do these two things, depending on the feeling, we make more and more thoughts. So actions, feelings, thoughts are going on in this system. Action,
Yes.
you can easily
Actions,
remember because it's
feelings,
happening all the
thoughts.
time. Actions, feelings, and the thoughts.
Mm.
When you combine these three things, the fourth one is the speed, is generated through these things in our system. The speed, certain speed is taking place. It goes up and up and up according to the process of these actions, feelings, and thoughts are happening. According to these three things are happening, our internal speed is going up and down.
So
That is
first things, first one is action, second one is feeling, and then thoughts, and then the last one is what?
speed.
Ah, yes, speed.
So that now say if you take the car outside, actions are going on, then the feelings, then the thoughts. Thoughts won't come straight away. People think I'm driving with a good thought. You can't do that because you have to respect the actions and the feelings first. Then only the thought comes. Buddha says. But we assess wrongly. We think the thought comes first. control the thought. No, you can't control the thought. You have to control your body first. The physical body has to be controlled by reducing your sankara. If you reduce your sankara or agitation of the body
Mm.
or vibration of the body, if you reduce, then your thoughts are not that bad. That the thoughts that you are going to produce. Now, see,
Yes.
if a person gets angry and harm another person, first thing come is the changing the physical body of that person by looking first at that person, then the upadana rupa, recorded or registered in the system, then the rupa vedana comes. That means whether I'm going to be happy with that person or angry with that person. So that's the next one comes. Rupa vedana, sanya, then you identify that. Sankara is uh, changing your body, bodily parts are changing. So that has to be done. That's action. That's actions. Then, then action, feelings, then the thoughts, then Sankara Vijnana, thought is completed. Before that, actions and feelings are going on. What are the actions? Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara. So Sanya is Vedana. There is Vedana. Vedana is feeling. So you get actions, feelings also action. These are all actions. Although I said, actions are actions, feelings are actions, then the thoughts are actions, then the speed also actions. And Buddha said very important thing here. Although we said, I'm going a little bit deeper to that. I don't know whether you can grasp this one. Actions are making speeds with various speeds. Feelings are with speeds. Thoughts are with speeds. The speed is with speeds, varying speeds. So all four are nothing but speeds. Buddha,
Yes.
Buddha divide this into four for us to understand. Otherwise, if Buddha said action is a speed, feeling is a speed, thought is a speed, on top of that there's another speed, then we get
I
confused. Yeah, we
yeah,
get
I
confused.
totally yeah, I can understand it. So,
Yeah.
does the Buddha also use the word speed to disturb, yeah, that kind of issue?
Yeah. So it's what's your question, please? I didn't get it. Sorry.
Because he are doctor in the physics, yeah, some engineering, so he just
Yeah,
use
yeah.
the
Physics, yeah,
speed.
speed. Yeah, yeah.
And does the Buddha also use speed to describe some kind of issue?
Yeah, if you look at a lot of the terms came to science is from Buddha's teachings, I would say.
Yes.
Buddha said
I totally
2,500 years
understand
ago.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think
Buddha-
it's very interesting because you use speed and actually
and the
I
level
studied science as well and I know it very interesting. The first time I saw it.
yeah, it's the speed and the degree of speed or the level of the speed. It's going up and down. The speed goes up
Oh,
and down. So
yes.
if you get an angry feeling all of a sudden, say what Buddha said is there's a speed going up. So what you have to do is just observe, then the speed will come down in its own. We don't have to do anything.
Yes.
Now, see, if you get angry, just to manage that, don't think about it again, and don't put the. There's a saying that don't put anything onto the fire into the fire. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you develop another thought to get rid of the thought that you got anger, then it'll escalate. It'll go up and up. It's like
Yeah,
it's like you are adding something to the fire to
yeah,
make
yeah,
the
yeah.
fire, worse fire than what is there. So Buddha says, if you get angry or if you get disturbed, say that somebody is shouting in the outside or some disturbance is happening. So we can do two things. We can concentrate on that, and from our mind we can shout at that person or get angry, and we are keeping silent, but the inside is working with anger. No, no good. No, Buddha said no. Don't do that. What we have to do is just just listen to that, do whatever you can, otherwise just close it, go and do something else that you can do, come back when the sound is gone. So that is a
Very
better
interesting.
option. Yeah,
Mm.
that's a better option rather than repetitively thinking about that, and making the things worse by
Yes,
creating.
yes, yes.
So that is what Buddha said, that speed. So the speed, so we have to realize that my speed has gone up. So what I had to do is I had to relax. So it's like tiring. If you get tired, what do you do? Doctor says go and rest. So
Yeah.
resting process is the same as this one. Don't do anything, just rest.
Yes, yes.
Okay, let us go to this one again. How do I become a neutrally blissful, eternally very well relieved from all impurities, which is a beautiful situation, as well as
Mm.
unbiasedly joyful, supreme, sublime human being by eliminating those obstructive levels of overwhelming proudness and overconfidence that occurred, especially due to being a well-controlled person of my own process of this very system. That means proudness has gone up because I am a very controlled person. That is not a good sign, Buddha says. So
So
that's
from the inside, the proudness it comes from the system or from
inside
outside.
is proudness. If that's like people condemn the other people from thoughts or whatever actions when they see a disturbing person and say, I'm not like you, I'm well controlled myself, something like that.
So, yes,
then
yes, yes.
then that person is not well controlled, because that person is blaming the other person, so the things get changed in no time. So patidana is not there. So Buddha says patidana, don't attach to that. So go on.
Mm.
Okay,
Hajjadana.
now that is the question. Now see the very first answer. There are 12 answers given by Buddha in this sutra. So we'll go to the next part, which is the first answer, which is beautiful to listen to. So we know the question. What the question is, I have got stuck. Dana Sila Bhavana. Patti Dana is the point where I got stuck. I can't relieve my system from the happiness that I got. Is that right?
Yeah.
Question is clear, much clearer. So we can go to the answers given by Buddha, the very first answer. We'll look at the
Okay.
very first answer, the next part, which is, yeah, that's the one, which is Buddha says, okay, this is the point Buddha was raising. Is Buddha's teachings about that question, the very first part of the answer. There are 12 items, 12 verses, sorry. Asevanacha balana. Asevanacha balana. Asevanacha balanang means don't associate bad thoughts. Don't associate bad actions. Don't associate bad actions. Don't associate bad feelings. Don't associate bad thoughts. Don't associate bad speech. The all four that I said are in this part. Asevanacha bala. Balana means very low, low level. Bala.
Mm.
Balana means asevanacha means don't associate.
Ah.
Asevanacha is that. Balana means low. Low level things don't associate. Then what to associate? Panditanancha sevana. The next one says Panditanancha. Higher things which are bringing you calmness, peacefulness. Associate them. Don't associate the this is the advice given by the Buddha to that particular person or the monk who came with that question where he got stuck at Pattidana. So don't associate. This is a bal, it's a low level thing to associate or attach to Pattidana. So if you get the Pattidana without doing Pattidana, he's attaching to that. So not to associate with action which bring hurtful outcomes or consequences to the process of the system, such as the two things that we have learned. Dasa papa kammo kriya, unwholesome actions. Actual term is not, dasa papa kamma, Buddha's term, not kriya, it's papa kamma. Kamma is kriya, kriya means actions. And pancha nivana dhamma, which is the five barriers obstruction, the hindrances, which we have learned so far. So Buddha is telling not to associate with 10 defilements, uh, and five hindrances. Never associate with them. That's the advice. So what we have learned is used by the Buddha in a different manner. Because that monk knows what are the bad or low level things. Because that person, that monk knows the 10 defilements, five hindrances, the fetters or the sangyojana and the paticca samuppada very well, learned person. Otherwise, that person can't come along dana sila bhavana. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, that person can't come along this line. The 10 wholesome actions and the 10 perfections. So this monk is practicing 10 wholesome actions and the 10 perfections.
Yes.
So it says, don't associate with that, associate with this. Now, if you look at this carefully, look at the terms I have written. Asevana, asevana, the first term, right? Asevana, right?
Sevana.
Asevana,
Seven.
asevana.
Mm.
Don't go to the other part, just the first word, asevana, right? The first word is asevana, right? Now, if you go along that line and see the last word, sevana. So, asevana is don't associate, sevana is associate.
Oh,
Can you see? Because
Sevana.
asevana is don't associate. It's the same as sevana, but you put capital A in front. Asevana. Asevana is don't associate. Sevana is associate. So when you look at these sounds, sevana, asevana. Don't associate is asevana. Sevana is associate. If you look at any sutra, if you get these sounds, sevana and asevana, the same meaning, no difference. Buddha has not confused by giving too many meanings for one term or one sound,
Yes.
like in most of the languages, where one sound, so many meanings. But Buddha's teachings, one sound, one meaning, no any other meaning. Asevana means no association. Sevana means associate.
Sevana is
Sevana,
association.
Sevana, Sevana, Sevana,
Sevana is don't
Sevana, Sevana.
association. Okay.
Sevana, 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 actually Sevana,
Sevana.
Sevana, Sevana, Asevana, Sevana,
Uh,
also, you can, pronounce in the way that you wish, but Sevana or Sevana is associate. Asevana or Asevana is don't associate. Asevanacha balana. Panditanancha sevana. Balana means low level things. What are the low level things? Actions, dasa, papa kriya or 10 unwholesome actions or 10 defilements. and the
Mm.
5 hindrances. Don't go along those lines. That's the idea. Okay?
Associated with actions. Mm.
Yeah. Sevana cha balanam, panditanam cha sevana, puja cha pujaniyana. Puja cha pujaniyana. What that means? That
Puja
means
cha,
keep
puja
that particular uh, norm. What is the norm? What is the advice? Keep that advice at a very higher level. You worship,
um,
you worship that, advice. That's what Buddha says. It is not Buddha's advice, it is the advice found by the Buddha. Now, Buddha found what is going on in our system. Buddha said, I examine what is going on. This is what I observe. And when I practice, it is quite right. So that is happening inside the system. So therefore, respect that. It is like, as I said, Veyyavaccha apachayana deshana sravana. Veyyavaccha. What is Veyyavaccha? We say apachayana is respect and admire. So respect and admire such advice given to you so that your system get relief from everything. You can go forward. You can eliminate that happiness that you get, the proudness that you get by experiencing these things or practicing these things. So that is Veyyavachapachayana. Etam Mangala Muttamang. Now, Etam Mangala Muttamang, you have heard that comes in every term at the end. Buddha says that. In that sutra, if you look at all the you know, uh, verses of that sutra, Etam Mangala Muttamang is repeated. It comes as the last part. So it's Puja cha Puja Niyana. So that means, let us go to that part again. The first answer of the Buddha, Asevana cha Balanam. Don't associate with low grade actions. Don't produce low grade actions which are bringing hurtful results to you. Asevana cha Balanam. Don't associate with bad habits. Don't associate with things that brings hurtful results. Associate with things brings calmness and peacefulness. Panditananja sevana.
mm,
Associate with the things which bring to you calm, peace, compassion, all these things, good things.
uh,
Puja cha pujaniyana. That means directing, proposing, and I have pro offering. That means you're offering flowers to Buddha. You're offering, that is what I was trying to tell here. You're offering. Why you are offering? Because you respect the Buddha. It's like offering. Puja cha puja niyana. So you offer. Your offerings must go to this particular statement or the advice, this particular practice. So that is called the Veyyavaccha apachayana. Apachayana means that we learn is respect and admire. Offer your respect, offerings. So that is quite important. Etang mangala muttama. There is no any other reward or award that you can achieve in this life. That is what it says. Etang mangala muttama. See the last one, a little bit below.
mm. Okay.
Yeah. Now look at the last one I have given here. So no, don't go to the
Last
next one.
one.
No, last one is last sentence of the same part that we discussed here.
Yeah.
Same part,
You
Asevana,
mean the
the last
reward
one.
award? Yeah.
It says, it says, okay, let us read through that. Do not associate with actions which bring hurtful outcomes or consequences to the process of the system, such as
Mm,
10 wholesome actions, 5 barriers obstructing the calmness, which are 5 hindrances.
mm,
Do
mm.
associate with action bring benefits to the system, such as Dasa Punya Kamma, 10 actions of harmonious living, for harmonious living.
Harmonious living.
Yeah.
And
And
actions of harmonious living.
yeah, 10 actions for harmonious living. These are Punya Kamma. And Dasa
Mm.
Paramita. What are they?
Punya come.
Punya Kamma means they are the Dana Sila Bhavana, Pattidana Pattanumodana, Veyava Chapachayana, Desana Savana, Dittiju, which we have learned. Those are the 10 wholesome actions. Same thing. 10 actions for harmonious living is the same. I put it in that manner, which makes sense.
Mm, mm.
Rasa paramita 10 stage normal path towards tranquility. Tranquility. That means again,
Tranquility. Yeah.
tranquility is upeksha. Tranquility is upeksha. Upekha, as you said, which is a better way of pronouncing. Upekha.
Mm. Upekha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rasa
10
paramita.
perfections.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Perfections. 10. Paramita. Dasa paramita. Danang silancha nikkammam panya viriya. Panchamang Kanti Satya Aditana Metu Pekha. Last one. So it's go along that, and which promote, now this one promote to enhance tranquility. That is, if that enhances tranquility, Panditanancha Sevana. Pandita means you are gaining some sort of intelligence which is enhancing your tranquility. That is called the Pandita. Panditanam. That is the higher level. You are enhancing to go to the higher level of this life. What is that? Towards the upekha, tranquility, by directing, proposing, and pro-offering one's own process of life towards the above described approach, this method. So respect that approach, offer every that you have got to that approach, offering, pro-offering, now, every time. So directing, proposing, and pro-offering. So you can understand what I said. You direct your system towards that by respecting. Then Buddha says,
Yes.
finally, there is no
Yes.
any
Yes.
other.
Yes.
In the last one, it says, Etang Mangala Muttamang. There is no any other superior or unprecedented reward or award that a person could achieve in this life. So if you practice that, that is the best award or the reward a person could obtain in this life. That is the first advice given by the Buddha for that particular question. What is the question? I'm doing so much, I'm uh, practicing so much, but I got somewhere, I got stuck somewhere in my practice. Where is that? When I get these good feelings, I was attached to that. I got the
Mm.
proudness. I
Yes.
got
Yes.
attached to that. So how can I eliminate that thing? Very first thing is to do is to asevanacha balanang. Don't associate with such and such. What are those? The 10 defilements, and because 10 defilements takes you where? Kama, Tanda, Raga, you know that. Raga, Loba, Dvesha,
Yes.
Moha,
Yes.
or the Vaira, retaliation. So you can remember, that's why I said, when you look at all these teachings, they are related to what the Buddha said about good and bad things. They are coming back.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
written in a different manner. So Buddha expresses in a different perspective, which is quite interesting.
Yes. Quite interesting. And that I mean that monk, yeah, asked very high level question because he observed the, yeah, problem when when he reached the high level, yeah, something different happened. Yeah,
So this,
some defilements, overwhelming,
hmm,
overwhelming proudness and overconfidence. Yeah.
yeah, that incurred, especially due to the being a well-controlled person of my own process of this very system. So
Yeah.
that is going backwards. It's a little bit going backwards. Can't get the things done. Going backwards
Yes.
because of that. That's not a good thing Buddha said. That's why Buddha said here patti dana pattan modana. So that shows how Buddha has detected where we go backwards
Yeah.
at the beginning. Dana sila bhavana patti dana pattan modana. Buddha expressed those things at that very important point in that 10 awesome actions. And don't go
Mm-hmm.
backwards. You might go backwards, then you go back to the wider, because you get, when you are proud and all that, then you go out and say, I'm practicing, I know everything, I'm the person who knows everything about, how to control myself, I'm a very controlled person, you can't change me, and this and that. So then you
uh,
go backwards.
yes.
Go backwards. So that's what Buddha said, be careful. So something like that
Yes.
happened to that monk. That monk may have said, all the monks here, during that time, that person may be talking about, he may be proud about what he has achieved, which is not a good sign, Buddha said. So
Yes.
you have to go
Yeah.
like this and get the diktiju. So you have to get the determined, that I'm not going to attach to anybody, anything
Yeah.
from my own words.
And then be so proud. Yeah. Just
Yeah, that's right. So don't go backwards, because all those achievements must be intact.
no. Yeah. Reversed, right?
Yeah.
Go
Yeah. No,
backward.
reverse. You never go backward.
Reverse. Yeah.
Reverse. Reverse gear. You put the car to the reverse gear. Never go reverse. Go forward. Something.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Because when you are going, now see, it's a good example. If when you are driving forward, all of a sudden you can't put the gear to the reverse. You can't. You should not. The gearbox will collapse. You try to put that to the gear, the reverse gear. Automatic transmissions, you can't do that, but those days when manually ones you can, but then people uh, do all damages to the car engines and things like that, putting all of a sudden to the reverse. All right, if you have got any questions you can ask, otherwise we can go to the next part of the Buddha's advice tomorrow.
Okay. Tomorrow I will, yeah, before we start the other part, I will ask you some questions. Yeah, I think it's very interesting, but I need to organize my language. Okay.
That's all right. You can ask questions. Yeah, I like to listen to the questions as well. But we don't have to go fast. We can go slowly. No problem. Uh, did,
Okay.
did I go fast today?
Not yet, but yeah, because this issue I'm not so familiar with, and I think is the speed is neutral for me. It's good.
Okay, that's neutral. Okay, what you have to realize is don't worry about these sounds, asevana cha balang nang pandita nang cha sevana puja cha pujaniyanang etam mangalam uttamam, and all those things you don't have to worry about to remember, because What matters is the meaning and practicing the way Buddha said. So if you can remember the practicing uh, or line of thinking to practice this.
Ah,
If somebody goes, dana, sila, bhavana, patidana, pattana, modana, you can go on, the reciting these terms 100 times, 200 times to remember, not necessary. So it will come to you. As you practice, you go to Dana, you look at the book and say, right, Dana, next one is Sila. I'll practice these things. That is much important rather than memorizing them.
yes, yes, yes.
Practice matters. Because if you look at this way, Prince Siddhartha didn't preach until the the until attaining the Buddhahood or the
Okay.
highest level. So these were going through the system without words, without sounds. It was going in the Buddha's system, as practice,
Mm.
practice, practice. Then Buddha's omniscience knowledge or the intelligence helped to
Omniscience
express,
knowledge.
yeah,
Mm.
knowledge to express what Buddha has experienced to put it into words. Right? So Buddha put
Yes.
this thing into words. You have to remember that. So Buddha never started, telling to Buddha's mind, yeah, there is a method here, dana, sila, bhavana, patdana. No. Buddha went on to practice and then achieve what he wants and then found the terms to express what Buddha has achieved. So that's the beauty.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
good. Yeah,
beauty.
so
So you have to think
fantastic.
along
Yeah,
those lines.
incredible.
Yeah, you have to think along long lines. Buddha said, my teaching is not to memorize. My teaching is to practice. If you practice, if you can't
Practice
remember any of these
experience.
terms, if you achieve the arahantship, that's it. Now,
Mm.
you don't have to worry about memorizing these things. But if it comes and registered in your system, let it register. Otherwise, don't worry. I'm not a person who knows all the sutras. I know a little bit. I know a little bit of sutra, not too much. Not many
Yes.
sutras. So we don't have to remember all the sutras. We have to remember what Buddha has taught us, how to practice, the way
Yes.
of practicing. So I have to do this. If I get angry, what I have to do? Buddha says, don't create more thoughts to eradicate them or to get rid of them. Just keep silent. Be watchful. See what that is going to do to me. What that, where it came from, where that anger came from. That's what we have to inquire. So if you go on inquiring, the anger will go away. Anger can't stay there because you are inquiring where that came. So you have to practice and see whether it works. It works. Definitely it works. Now see, when a person is shouting at somebody, if that person is think about these Buddha's teachings, other person doesn't know. That person is going along the teachings of the Buddha and thinking about it. Other person is shouting, shouting, shouting.
Mhm.
Ultimately, the person is getting the things, is not listening. Why? He is in another mission. What is the mission? Mission is thinking about what Buddha said. So that for one
Yes.
fellow is shouting, other is in a different mission. So they won't tally. There is no reaction, action and a reaction there. No conflict, no arguments, nothing. So it's one person is shouting, other person doing nothing. It's not like people think he's a coward. He didn't utter a word. He just listened and went away. But he's
No.
but his
not in
intelligence
that
is
way.
going through the,
He's not a crop. Yeah, he's thinking
yeah,
what the
what's going on. Yeah,
Buddhas teach. Yeah.
yeah. It's quite interesting, amazing, the way.
Thank you so much. And
Okay.
the examples you gave us very workable because today I did the review and I feel it is workable in my system as well.
Yeah, that works because this Buddha's teaching, so it should work. It will work. Can't go wrong. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. And this issue is also very interesting. And just like you find some reference to the 10 Hosan deeds and also 10 perfections in my mind. So I will keep on going and to follow up. Okay. And
Okay.
I will ask you questions tomorrow. Yeah,
Yeah, bring the
early at the
questions. Yeah,
first
yeah.
beginning.
Yeah, yeah. Bring the questions. Yeah, that's better. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Okay. Thanks for listening. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. Before ending, I'd like to do the prayer on behalf
Okay.
of
Thank
all
you.
of us. Yeah, blessed by the Buddha's wonderful teachings. Yeah, unparalleled and incredible teachings. And blessed by the Carmen's instruction, yeah, Benny's instruction, and also blessed by two doctors' compassionate leading and inspiring. May all beings have the intention to achieve Bodhi and quickly realize the unsurpassed enlightenment. Thank you so much for your contribution, your compassion.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
the blessings. Yes. All the best. Take care. Good night.
All the best. Good night.
Good night to you all, everybody.